Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm the baddest from YouTube. That's me. That's who I am. That's who I be. And we are back with the indie horror games tier list, the infamous, the dangerous, the controversial indie horror games tier list. It's been 3, 4, maybe 5 months? If not, 4 months. Probably been 4 months since the last tier list stream. The rules for this, the way we do these tier list streams is every time there is another 50 entries on the tier list, we dedicate a whole stream to re-ranking those last 50. And we have about, what do we got? We got like 55 today, something like that. Yeah, we're going to be reanalyzing them, re-breaking them down very briefly, of course, because there's so much to get to. And we're also going to start off by rearranging a few things on the tier list, I think, because this tier list is ever-changing, forever growing. It changes all the time. And don't take everything on there with 100% sincerity, because, like, the specific the tiers are reliable, but the specific placements, because we try to rank them in order, it changes all the time. My feelings, my opinions change all the time. And also, if a game is, like, a few away from another, I'm not saying they're drastically different in quality, that kind of thing. We're going to re-rank a few things, but first, I do want to talk about something before we start. If you're only here, if you're not an avid watcher of me and you're only here for the ranking, I don't know, I guess come back in like 3 minutes, I don't know, I'll make it quick. So, day before yesterday, just because I've been asked about this a lot, I obviously, naturally so. Day before yesterday, I did a stream on the game At Dead of Night, and it kind of just abruptly ended, and it never came back. Well, if you follow me on Twitter, you know what happened. This is just to be fully transparent. I don't usually talk about this kind of thing, but just to be fully transparent. We were about an hour into the stream, and I had a panic attack live on stream, which is something that doesn't really happen. I've always had panic attacks since I was, like, 10, but I never, it's been a very long time since I felt it happen while live on stream. So I kind of just went silent and kind of just didn't do anything for a little bit, and then I just made the abrupt decision to click the end stream button and delete the VOD forever. Yeah, it was a very uncomfortable experience for me, and I didn't really know what to do in that exact moment. So I just abruptly ended stream, so I apologize for that. And then the day after that, I was meant to stream again, but the anxiety revolving around the idea of it happening again just made it unbearable. Like, the fear that it would come on again, the fear that it would happen on stream again, was too overwhelming for me, so I just canceled that one as well. But I'm fine. I'm fine. Again, this isn't abnormal for me. Again, it was just weird to it usually doesn't happen on stream, because I'm used to streaming. I'm used to doing this. It's usually pretty comfortable for me. But yeah, in that moment, I don't know, I was feeling really out of it, I guess, and it just I couldn't do anything about it. It just happened. That's the thing. It just happens. It's not like anything in particular happened that day or that stream. It just happens. That's what happens when you're mentally ill. But I'm fine today, and we're just gonna be talking about video games. So, thank you, Cinemetis, for the $5. I heard about what happened to you on Twitter. I'm doing fine. Don't worry about it. If you don't want to, put something from Amori on the desk. I've never played Amori. That's probably the biggest indie horror game that isn't on the tier list. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've tried to play Amori so many times, and I could never get into it, and it's a very long game. So I've never played it to completion. So, I've never played it to completion, so it's not on the tier list. But one of these days I'll do it. Maybe one day I'll just do, like, 2 very long streams about Amori. Because I think if I do stream it, that'll give me a reason to do it. But yeah, I could not push myself through that very long game. I just have not been able to do it. All right, let's pull the tier list up on screen. There it is, the infamous tier list. This is it. This is the way it's currently looking, and this is our new additions. There are 2 games that were supposed to be on here. My mouse is not visible. Let's change that. There we go. Yeah, these 2 games were meant to be ranked, but I didn't end up playing them. We'll get to that eventually. Ignore these 2. Alright, so yeah, this is the current standing of the tier list. Is there anything I want to change? Yes. There's definitely many things to be changed here. Because, again, my opinions on these are always changing. I think I want to bump both Among the Sleep and Slay the Princess to S tier. And I think in doing so, I would like to demote FNAF 2 to A. I'm going to put Key at the end. I really love Among the Sleep storytelling. And Slay the Princess is incredible. Like, it is an incredible game. There's definitely still a lot of people that love it more than I do, and that's what's always held me off from bumping it up, but no, this is a magical, incredible game. This game is unlike anything I've ever played before. I would say it's an S tier. Lost in Vivo should probably be higher. I think a few here needs to be arranged. I'm going to bump Lost in Vivo pretty high up. And I'm going to put Happy Hills below FNAF 4 and Mad Father, I think. And yeah, we got to do some arrangement, because Bunny Graveyard I think is better than Mad Father. And, you know, I'm going to make the executive decision to bump down Lethal Company into the top of B. I don't think it's deserving of its A placement. It was very fun, and it's still a fun multiplayer game, but it was kind of just a moment, and I don't find it as fun as I once did. It was a great moment. I think it's a good game. It's still in B. It's a good game. Really good game. I don't think I think it was more just a special moment. And Help Wanted 2, I'm going to bump up. Help Wanted 2 is a very, very fun game. And if Spookies ever adds custom maps, we could definitely see it going higher, because that's supposed to be the next major thing. Right now I'm going to leave it where it is, but Spookies with custom maps would make for something very special, I feel like. This looks fine. Project probably needs to go down. It sucks, because I still love this game, but I'm just going to put it at the bottom of B, because they gotta fix this shit, man. But yeah, I think Project is too high. All this looks good to me, though, actually. Yeah, all that looks good to me. C tier is probably our most controversial tier, mostly because Outlast is in it, because I don't think Outlast is as good as people say it is. It used to be lower down in the C tier, but I'm happy with where it is here. I don't feel the need to change that. Sue me. This looks fine. God, the thing with these Lixian games is I know it's purely biased because I like Lixian so much. It's purely biased that these are as high as they are because I like Lixian so fucking much. I don't think I'm going to move them. I love these games. In fact, I almost want to put them higher because I would so much rather play this than Trails or Tattletale. But I think these are better games. And welcome to the game I'm going to bump up. Welcome to It's Better than Dead by Daylight, and I'd say it's better than Poppy Chapter 1. And that's where it stops. Yeah, bump it up a little bit. Tamor might be a little high. You know, Super Dark Deception is going to be bumped the fuck up when major updates start coming out. Super Dark Deception is so much better than Dark Deception. Super Dark Deception is so cute and cool. I love Super Dark Deception, but I can't put it that high. I want to say I love it, but I can't put it that high. It's just a demo of a first chapter right now. But when this game is coming out, it genuinely probably could go up. It's going to go up. I'm so excited for Super Dark Deception. I know people love Faith. I can't get into it as much as other people can. I'm fine with C tier. We're going to leave it at that. That's fine. D tier is also iffy. I do think Sister Location is the best of D tier because Custom Night is a part of Sister Location. If it was just base game, unironically could drop a full tier down. But its Custom Night is one of the best in that series. So, I think Bunker is also overrated. I think I'm good with this. Well, actually, no. Okay, we're mostly changing FNAF opinions, I'm realizing. I've grown as a person. I think Ruin is better than Help Wanted 1. And I'm going to bump it up. There. You're going to bump up 1. I think Ruin is better than Help Wanted 1. Help Wanted 1 and Ruin have both elevated from E tier. The hatred in my heart is burning away. I'm feeling less bias and hateful towards these games, but I still think they're very mediocre. What bumped Help Wanted out of E was, I feel like I wasn't taking Curse of Dreadbear into account enough, which is now just part of the game, and Curse of Dreadbear is way better than the base game. I think that's deserving of a D tier. And Ruin, it's not that bad, but I do still think it's mid. It's still just boring and very much carried by the fact that it's the only good FNAF game with a concrete story. I still think it's a very boring game, but you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, and I do think it's better than Help Wanted, which I think Help Wanted is way more boring. This game fucking, God, I want to put it lower. This game pisses me off so much because it should be so much better, and it got better. This game is fire. It's fine, though. Curse of Dreadbear is pretty good. We're going to leave it there. But this game is so fucking overrated by everybody. AR, Monsters and Mortals. Okay. First changes. Yeah, I love Monsters and Mortals. Okay. All this looks fine. Banban 3 is better than Dark Deception. This is just Fierce to Fathom Episode 1. So I'm not too upset about that. I think we're going to leave the rest of this as it is for now. I'm feeling pretty okay about this. Now we get into our new stuff. If you're wondering why we came up with the title that we came up with, the most cursed indie horror games, is because this is the worst batch of games we've had in this series. This is the worst fucking batch of games. There's some bangers in here. There's some great games in here. This is the worst batch of games we've seen in this series. There is so much mascot horror bullshit in here. This is the most dire collection we have had to date. And it's also going to have probably some of my hottest takes to date, because there are some games in here people really don't like that I will probably put pretty high, and there's some games people really like that I will probably just say are okay. This is going to be very fun. This is going to be a fun ranking. These are all of our new entries, minus the last two, just because I couldn't get them in time. Also, I originally wanted to wait to finish Outlast 2 to do this stream, but for some reason it keeps crashing when I try to play it. No other game is doing that, and I replayed Outlast 1 not that long ago. But yeah, Outlast 2 keeps crashing for me, so I want to figure that out at some point, because I do really want to play it. But yeah, this is what we have on the tier list. I tried to rank it by, I tried to order when we're going to be talking about these by, the ones you guys would be most interested in to the least, as well as prioritizing more recent titles. This is what we got. Lots of mascot horror on this one. This is the most dire batch we've had. So let's get into it. We got the whole Granny series. The Granny Gauntlet is here. I love Granny's house. Granny 1 is pretty mid. Not a very interesting location. Not the most satisfying puzzles. Basically no scare factor. But at the same time, the puzzles are okay. It's a classic in a way. It's again, I think this game is very distinctly mid. It's like a totally tolerable experience that I basically think nothing of. Again, it's like a staple in YouTube history and indie horror history, but I don't think it's a particularly good game, but I don't think it's that bad either. Some people really shit on Granny. I don't think this game is that bad. I would say it's worse than these. It's worse than Let's Find Larry for sure. We might put it right here. That seems fine to me. Yeah. I think it's like a perfectly mid game. It's in the mid of a... Right, I should have said this at the beginning, in case anyone's new here. This is how our tier list works, because it's not technically structured the way a regular tier list is, where C would be mid, because it's middle. I consider S the best of the best, A to be really great games, B to be good games, C to be games that are like, they're alright. They're pretty alright. They're okay. D is our mid. D means these games are middle of the ground. Middle ground, middle of the road. E is bad. F is, dear God, this is terrible. And just to define should be illegal, should be illegal is games that I don't think should be allowed on Steam. Like, just genuinely, it doesn't mean, like, the content is grotesque. It doesn't mean it's really, really bad. It's just, these are games that I genuinely think should not be allowed on Steam. With that out of the way. So yeah, Granny I think is perfectly middle tier. Granny 2 I think is bad. Granny 2 I think is a bad game. The location of this one sucks. It is so cramped. The areas are so tight, and having 2 threats in it just makes the game miserable. This is a miserable one to play. It's very easily going somewhere in the E range, but pretty low down. The location of this one, like, fucking blows. Granny, all the Granny games are structurally very similar, so the location really matters, and this one, oh man, it really kills it. I'm gonna put you below these. Below Management, below Night Bites. Tries by Happy's Humble Burger Farm place. Not hi, Sir Smirks. I know you. Hello. Well, if you're referring to this is Burger Barn, the old one, which is pretty mid. But if you're saying you're surprised that it's this high, that's also fair, but I fucking love this game. Yeah, Granny 2... This might be... Nah, I'll bump you a little. I'll bump you a little bit. But only a little bit. The Mr. Hop series... One of these days, I'll talk about the Mr. Hop series at length. Because, oh boy. Is it worse than Mr. Tomato? No, this is where Granny 2 stays. And we're going to bump 3 up, Mr. Hops 3 up. Yeah, Granny 2, pretty bad game. Not good game. Granny 3, I actually like quite a bit. I like Granny 3 quite a bit. And by quite a bit, I mean I think it's okay. But still, for Granny, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good accomplishment. I think Granny 3 is, like, really fun. The puzzles of this one are so much more fun. The location is massive with many threats, and I think that's really fun and interesting and cool. And the puzzles of this one were so satisfying. Yeah, I like Granny 3 to some extent. I don't think it's great. Wouldn't even call it good, but I think it's a totally solid game. But it's still gonna be really low here, as in right here. I wish I could put Subway Midnight higher because artistically this game is amazing, but it's miserable to play. There's so many things about this game that I just think should have been completely restructured to make it a decent, playable experience. Yeah, I'm gonna put Granny here. Granny 3 here. I think Granny 3 is a totally solid game. I genuinely do. Poppy Playtime Forever. Hey, chatters, if you want to see me play Poppy Playtime Forever with some other dope-ass content creators, how long ago was this? This was this. If you want to see me play Poppy Playtime Forever with some other dope-ass content creators, go watch this video from YouTuber Nized, where I play it with some other mob partners. And as a mob partner, I can say with confidence, this game blows. As someone that's partnered with mob, this game kind of sucks dick. I will say it's not an F tier game, because I actually think it's map creations not saves it, but saves it from being the worst game ever. You know, the fact that you can make maps is cool, and the fact that there's so much content to be played because of its maps, that makes it something. But no, yeah, this game blows. Because of its maps, it's not like very low E, but it's E range. This is an E range game, no doubt about it. They updated it quite a lot. That's saying they updated it quite a lot is a real stretch. Like, they added Boxy Boo. who's just a reskin. He doesn't have anything special about him. Again, with its custom maps, I think it's higher than some of these. This is really funny. Is Poppy Playtime Forever better or worse than Joyville and Muzi? Two games that so unbelievably explicitly ripped it off, especially Joyville. I'm gonna say it's worse. I am going to say it's worse. I am going to say it's worse. And, like, that hurts. But, no, yeah, it's worse. This game has very few redeemable qualities. And, yeah, I mean, I just, you had a pretty good game right here. Can you just do more of this, please? I mean, I guess they did. They added this into this and made it worse. And it's sad. I hate my life. Alright, neighboring time! We got Granny of the way, we got Poppy Playtime of the way, we got Hello Neighbor. Both of these I played on stream, but ended up finishing off stream. And, you know, I warmed up to Hello Neighbor a lot with time, because, I've seen a lot of, like, behavior, that's a bad way of phrasing this. I've seen the certain devs, of Hello Neighbor, and certain people that work on Hello Neighbor, and, certain people at Tiny Build, like on Twitter and stuff. I'm mutuals with some of them. They followed some of me. Some of them saw the Hello Neighbor show video, and they all seem like they're actually, like, passionate. A lot of them seem like actually passionate people. Like, I don't think Hello Neighbor is, like, a cash grabby thing. I think there's actually, like, a lot of passionate people working on it. And the show was good. I like the show. I think the show is good. I'm sure most of you, I'm sure most of you have seen my video on the show. And me and Zach both were like, it's pretty fucking good. So I went into these with, like, not high expectations, but I was like, this can't be that bad. And yeah, they're not. I genuinely, like, Hello Neighbor 2 in particular, people were so hard on. People were so hard on this game. This game is so much better than the first, but it's also pretty alright. It's an okay game. It's charming. There's some pretty fun puzzles. The additional characters are pretty good. The style is so much more refined than the older games. It's still annoying. Some of the puzzles are still very annoying. And some of the environments do still suck, and there are still some very apparent bugs. But I genuinely, I think, and for the record, also, I think these games are very similar in quality. I think they are very, very similar in quality. I think Hello Neighbor 2 is a little bit better, because of the amount of variety in its environments. But Hello Neighbor VR, what's it called, Search and Rescue, is, like, pretty cool too. It has, like the way you switch between the different characters, really creative stuff. Yeah, I think both of these are solid. I think Hello Neighbor 2 is better than Choo Choo Charles. That's my take of the day. We're going to put it there. And I would put Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue one below it. I would say these games they're both Hello Neighbor games, but more refined than the older ones. And so they're very similar, but way better than some people give them credit for. And they're also pretty fun. They're pretty fun with a decent amount of like, there's environmental quality in this one, plenty of creativity in this one. These games don't deserve some of the shit they've gotten. These games have gotten way too much shit. These games have gotten way too much shit. Shit on this game. This game sucks. This is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. This is one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. But no, yeah, they've gotten much better, and the show is bomb. Go watch my video on the show if you haven't, but there's no way you haven't if you're here. Yeah, Hello Neighbor has seen some major quality, and I like a lot of the people that work on it, genuinely. Hang on, my cat is locked in my room, and I need to set her free. Peach, buddy. Peach, get on out of here. Alright. Shout out to Peach. Hit a like on the stream for Peach, my fat ass cat. Alright. All right. Okay. Yeah. Hello Neighbor. Pretty fire, actually. Like it's all right. It's like, again, I'm not saying they're good. They're not going to go any higher than this. Hello Neighbor. Kind of cool. Hi Dill Pill for the thank you for the $5. Put Sad Sheriff Toadster on the desk. Surely someone's made a PNG of that. I guess I will do it. Oh. This isn't even the official one. What the fuck? Oh, this is gross. This isn't the official one, but I think, unless it is, and I'm misremembering. No, because it doesn't have, like, the weird red-ass eyes. We're gonna go with this. This is just as freakishly grotesque, if you ask me. He's a sad boy. This is my face when my toxic yaoi doesn't work out. Shout out to Sheriff Toadster. Alright, we're almost at Sheriff Toadster. First, we gotta talk about Indigo Park. I think Indigo Park is very cute, very charming. Lots of great qualities about it that I really like. Its animation and music being the main standouts. Unbelievably cool. And the characters are really cute. But, I mean, at the same time, it is very much lacking in gameplay. That's the main thing. Lacking in gameplay, lacking in replayability. Mostly that. It's not the most fun game to play. And I know, but I mean, I know Mason, and he's he's talked about this publicly as well. Like, this isn't insider information. He very much wants to make the next the next chapter much more gameplay heavy, scarier. You know, everything. He wants everything to be better. For this being like a first real project and with the resources at hand, this is very impressive. No, yeah, I don't think it's a fantastic game. I don't think it's fantastic by any means. I don't think it's like, I wouldn't call it like an amazing title in the mascot horror space. But I would still say that, like, now, it's like, it's still a very charming, I would say, you know what, this is what I would say about Indigo Park. In the grand scheme of mascot horror, it isn't fantastic, but it is a great example of how to take the mascot horror formula that's so popular now and make it good again, because it's structurally and functionally so similar to so many mascot horror games, but the personality in it, the effort put into the characters, the voice acting, the music, like, structurally it's similar, but all the important details and elements of game design were made to be unique and quality. I think it's a great example of how to take the mascot horror formula that's so popular now and still do something great with it. So yeah, it's very much a B tier game, very much B tier, and not all that high in B tier. Because again, I don't think it's great. I don't think this is a great game, but I'd say it's a good game. I would say it is a good game. And also, it's free, obviously. I try not to take price into account with these, with the exception of should be illegal tier, where we try to mainly put paid for games. But yeah, Indigo Park is also free, so that's also major bonus points. I still wouldn't put it that high. Project in its current state is going to be our bottom of B. It's teetering going down here. But I still really love this game. As hard as it is to love this game, we're going to put it there. But here, I'm struggling with this. Do I think Indigo Park is better than The Upturned? I don't really think that. However, I think Zardy's Maze might be a little high. We could probably put that one lower. But that's about it. You know, that's about it. Indigo Park is not an outstanding game. But it'll get better with time, is the other thing. It'll get better. It's not done, technically. With these chapter releases, it's really hard how to determine that on the tier list. Like, Dark Deception I have as a full package, and Bendy I have as a full package. But, like, Poppy Playtime I rank individual chapters. Like, it's up to you how you would want to do this. For me, it's just like I have to determine if I should base it on chapters or not. For me, it's literally like if I could see the chapter by itself being a full game on its own, being its own game, then I count it as its own game. I think every single Poppy Playtime chapter works as its own thing. But I don't think that about Dark Deception whatsoever. Absolutely not. Same for like Rainbow Friends. I've thought about splitting up because you actually could make that argument. Which, for the record, Rainbow Friends Chapter 1 would be an E, and Chapter 2, unironically, would probably be my bottom of C. I like Chapter 2. I'm not sorry. But anyway, yeah, this is where Indigo Park's gonna go. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Iron Lord being in the same tier as Dark Deception for FAR is crazy. We'll just stop liking shit games so much that they explode, and maybe we would be in a better society. Alright, Banban 7. Another game that's way better than fucking Iron Lung. Banban 7 is a really difficult one. I think Banban 7 is okay. I think it's passable. I think it's distinctly mid. But that is, like, so much for, the Banban series. Like, for the Banban series, it's pretty crazy to get a game that's mid. But I would also, I will also say, of course, it's important that I say, this game's not good. It is not good. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good. The gameplay, this is still very annoying, and the core fundamentals of game design were not taken into account when making any of the fucking Banban games. But, you know what? It's passable. The environments are actually cohesive. And there's some pretty fun parts of it. And the story is actually much more charming now that it's not frustrating to get through. I'm going to put it here. Do I like it more than Detention? I don't know about that. Detention is cool and artistic. And Secret Neighbor is actually not that bad of a multiplayer game. It's just really jank. I might sandwich it between the two. Oh, this is tough. I'm really struggling with Banban 7. Banban 7 is such an anomaly on this tier list, because it's a game that I don't think is really good. But I also kind of do think it's fine. No, you know what? No, this is what's happening. I'm letting all of you fucking idiots that show up in my chat and get mad at me for my opinions influence my opinions. That's what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing right now, subconsciously or consciously, is I'm like, I'm not supposed to say this game is okay, so I should be like skittish around this. Oh no, this game still sucks. No, fuck all of you. This game's fine. This is a fine game. I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. That's what I'm gonna do. This game's all right. It's still mid. Again, this is still mid tier. This is our mid tier. Structurally speaking, this should be the mid tier. But how our tier list works is this is our mid tier. Yeah, this game is fine. Like it's totally passable. Content warning. Content warning. I'm liking pretty much more than Lethal Company these days. I'll tell you that much. I mean, both of them were kind of like phases, you know? Like, Lethal Company at one point, I think we had it something like here. And just with time is like, you know, just with time, I'm just kind of like, I think it's a good game. I think it is a good game, but I don't think it's anything great anymore. It was just kind of really exciting at the time, and eventually that feeling wore off. But I would say, I mean, this one is also fresher. It is more recent, but I do think content warning has worn off less. It's much more exciting. It's much more entertaining. The variety of creature designs. Lethal Company has some great creature designs, but the variety of absurd creature designs is really cool. And it's still kind of lacking in content, but like Lethal Company does have more areas and stuff. But I would say the area differences in content warning are more interesting. But oh yeah, it's just its whole concept with the YouTube parody bullshit. Is so cool to me. This is a bottom of A for me because again, I think it's better than Lethal Company, and Lethal Company is right now teetering between bottom of A and top of B. And I would say Content Warning is deserving of staying in the A tier. They could fumble the bag as it's a game that's consistently updated. It gets changed all the time. They could fumble it at some point, but I'm saying it's a bottom of A right now. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Crow Country. What a cool release to see in the indie horror space. A really cool release to see in the indie horror space. Like a PS1 era style survival horror game. Great game. This would be a lot of people's S tier for sure. Because like, as far as indie horror games that feel like they could be AAA, this is one of them. This feels very authentic to the era, but it's also refined to be a pretty goddamn good game. For me, it's like a very much top of A kind of deal. This is really tough, actually. Oh, this is really hard, actually. I might bump Lost in Vivo even higher, because I think Lost in Vivo is a better survival horror game than Crow Country. But yeah, Crow Country is a great survival horror game. Very fun mechanics. Great style. Charming story and characters. Some charming creature designs. Really good puzzles. Really good puzzles in this one. Good playtime, good replayability. Yeah, I would say it's better than Dark Revival and The Arrival. I'm realizing how similar these fucking names are. Dark Revival and The Arrival. And you know what? Lost in Vivo is great. This game's so good. I need to play this game again. We might stream this game again just because it's that good of a game. Yeah, sure. This is fine. Lost in Vivo is a great game. A very, very great game. And I think Crow Country is just a little bit weaker. And FNAF 2 is, like, bias on my part. I'll admit that. I'm fully open about that. FNAF 2, the way this game tells its story, the character designs, the influence of it, and also I do think it's, like, a fun fidget toy. Like, I think the speedy mechanics is still enjoyable for me. Like, FNAF 2 is a me thing. I think objectively this game is, like, somewhere around here. But I love this game. I love this game a lot. I still kind of want to keep it an S, because I love this game. And I'm going to do just that. Alright. Ao Oni. I still don't really know how you know what? Howtopronounce.com. Give it to me. This is not going to be accurate, but...
Aoni.
Ao Oni. I don't know. So we played this game on stream. This is either the oldest or second oldest game on this tier list. Yume Nikki is 2004, and so is the first build of Ao Oni. However, it got updated a lot. But I think Yume Nikki did too. I don't know, though. Ao Oni is a game that's like a relic in time. Like, it is a classic indie horror title. But it's disrespected a lot, because look at this fucking face. Look at this guy. People don't take this shit seriously. So although it's like a classic and its influence is insane, it's not very well respected these days. But you know what? I think it's good. I think it is a good game. The puzzles in this game, some of them were too frustrating. Some of them were too obnoxious, for sure. Some of them expected far too much from the player. But overall, there were some great puzzles in this. Some really fun puzzles. Ao Oni, despite looking so freakishly stupid, was a decent threat in the game. Like, the way he would appear, the way he would attack, some of the weird, trippy animations, quote-unquote, that were done in the RPG Maker engine were cool. Like, I think Aoni was, like, a shockingly good threat despite how stupid it looks. Like, it was hard to it's hard to take him seriously when you look at him, but in the game, looks pretty good. Not looks good, but is pretty good. No, yeah, this game is good. This is a good game. I like this game. I'm gonna put it bottom of B. Maybe. Nah, we'll bump it a little bit. Yeah, I think this game's cool. I think this game. I think this is a cool game. I think it's fun. I think it's charming. And I think it has some good puzzles in it for sure. And I think it's for an RPG Maker game, it's surprisingly scary. Like, I'll tell you, I love Mad Father a lot more. This game's scarier than Mad Father. The main threat of Mad Father just looks like a typical white anime guy. That's less scary than Yandere Dev looking ass over here. Yeah, I think Aoni is like a pretty good game. I think it's a pretty good game. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Playtime with Percy. On about 4 days ago, was it? 4 days ago, I messaged Fazzy Funbear, creator of Playtime with Percy. I said, Part 3 of the Indie Horror Games tier list is this Saturday. I will once and only once more ask the famous question. Is Playtime with Percy a fan game? Because fan games are not allowed on the tier list. Fanverse titles are because they're licensed. He says, I mean, we have a plushie, but the game is labeled as FNAF inspired, and people seem to have been always saying this. Learn to speak English, Fazzy Funbear, please. I say, FNAF inspired is different. Poppy is extremely Bendy inspired, and Bendy is extremely Bioshock inspired. Those aren't fan games, though. Fazzy says, right. I say, give me a yes or no, Fazzy Funbear. I know you can do it. I believe in you. He says, it is not a fan game in my eyes because Freddy Fazbear does not show up. Happy emoji at it. I said this is poggers. So, Playtime with Percy, officially not a fan game. We can rank it on the tier list. It's going to go pretty high. This game is very fun. Very stylistically cool as well. Because we have Flumpty sitting right here. Flumpty's 3. And I think this game is better than Flumpty's 3. Flumpty's 3 is like... I don't know, Flumpty's 3 feels more special to me with its, like, ending. Playtime with Percy, I would say, is a better game. And I don't think I'm going to even move it much more than that. I don't know. In a lot of people's eyes, Vanish is probably too high. But I just think this game is really cool. But you know what? I think I'll put it right above Vanish. Yeah, Playtime with Percy is a very fun game. Great Tamagotchi mechanics, great FNAF-inspired mechanics, cool character designs, great music, interesting drawn style, like a mixture of 2D and 3D shit. It looks really cool. Lots of replayability with a big-ass custom night and some challenges you can do. Yeah, I think Playtime with Percy is a very good game. And I'm so glad it's being acknowledged less as a FNAF fan game, because it is so much more than that. Like, unlike any other FNAF fan game, it is so much more than that. This is very much just a FNAF-inspired game. Yeah. Really good game. Fear and Hunger. Now, I will say, for full transparency's sake, I have not finished this game. People call this the Dark Souls of indie horror. Because, man, this game is fucking hard. I usually don't rank games until I've beaten them, but that's going to take me a little bit, because I don't have that much free time to dedicate to Fear and Hunger, and I'm trying my best, but this game is fucking hard. It's really hard. But it is a great game. I'm going to just leave it as a bottom of A until I finish it. When I finish it, maybe it'll go higher. Maybe it'll drop down. I don't see it dropping down. I see it only going up. But I'm going to leave it as a bottom of A. This game is really dark. It's really interesting. It's really difficult, but that's part of the greatness of it. It's interesting to play through. Very controversial title. Very controversial title because, like, it's pretty fucked up. But yeah, I mean, I would love to make a video on this game, honestly, but there's so many on it already because it's such like a taboo topic. But but it's really dark and interesting, and I do like it a lot. I gotta finish it, because it's really fucking hard, and I haven't. But I will eventually. It's a really hard game. But yeah, I'm gonna say bottom of A for now. Could go slightly up, could go slightly down, who knows. But it's a great game. But it's fucked up and weird, and I need to finish it. I'll finish it one day, I promise. Bonnie's Bakery. This is another game that will probably go up as I play it more, because Bonnie's Bakery has a lot of fucking content, and I haven't had the time to get to all of it. I don't know how many endings this game has. I think it only has technically like 6 endings, but it has like 60 different things you can do. Bonnie's Bakery is a massive game. I love its style. I love its 2D style. I love its 3D style. I love its approach to horror. I love the way it starts. This is something I just love in plenty of horror games, such as my favorite, Doki Doki. I love the way it starts off with a very cute and almost childlike aesthetic, and then turns into something really dark and interesting. Right now, I'm feeling a sandwich between Little Nightmares 1 and blank underscore L1. That's where I'm feeling right now. But honestly, it could go up, because there's so much content in this game I haven't gotten to, because there is so much shit in this game. This is a big game. Like, there's a lot of stuff to be done, and I'd like to do all of it, honestly. Because again, I think this is a good game. I think it's a really good game. Alright, Bendy Seeks the Machine. You could very much argue this isn't a game, and that it shouldn't be here. And you're right. I'm still gonna rank it. Because here's the thing. There's the most major and long and best sequence of this game is just a game. There is such a major fucking part of this game that is just a game. And it's so cool for that. But it also annoys me, because I wish it just did more of that. Because there are some great examples out there of teaser games. And this should have just been that. There are so many teaser games that are just simply simple games to get you excited for more. But this instead has... It still pisses me off that this thing exists, because this is just a teaser game with something really cool in it, and then a bunch of boring, cringe, and pointless shit in it as well. Like, I feel like this game could have been just a cool teaser game, but instead it was a short but good game. But it also teased a bunch of shit in a really shitty way. The way this game teases upcoming projects is so boring, and that angers me, which is why I left it on the tier list. But also, it's really cool. Like, this is also, that's the thing. It's also really cool. It has some really shit stuff and some really cool stuff, which completely middles it out. I'm gonna leave it, directly below Ruin. We'll go with that, sure. I'm so confused on how Egghead Gumpty is higher than Piggy, because it's a significantly better game. Because Piggy is a very boring and jank granny clone with really nothing all that fun about it. And Egghead Gumpty is frustrating and still not that well made. But Egghead Gumpty has a decent gameplay loop with some pretty interesting ideas. That's more than Piggy has. It doesn't have a decent gameplay loop, and it doesn't have any creative ideas. Maybe it does in the books, but we're not ranking the fucking books. Meatly Makes. I like this game so much more than I should. For those of you who didn't watch my stream on this, or are just not aware of this game, Meatly Makes is the first game that the Meatly made and released. This came out before the first chapter of Bendy by about a year. And I like this game way more than I should. I think this game's style is cool. I think it's fun to play. It's such a good fidget toy. This game feels like it's all about ADHD, and I love it for that. This game is so fun to play. It's so stylistically interesting. The meaning behind like all the little characters and stuff is cool to me. I'm just gonna throw this at the bottom of C, because I know it shouldn't go higher than that. And that's the thing. I'm not like you guys know I don't care what people say about my opinions. I'm not lowering it because it would be stupid to have it higher. I genuinely don't think it's a great game. And like I'm aware of that. Like I'm so consciously aware of that. But with that being said, it's also still higher than maybe it realistically should be because I still think it's so fun to play. I like Meatly Makes quite a bit. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Oh, fuck. We're in a bad era. Circus of Tim Tim. You know, shout out to Mascot Bro. Because they've been very cordial during our little experience. And, you know, they've been doing some good things. They've been doing some good things as people. This is the worst game on this list. Outside of the should be illegal games. But still, this game is so terrible. This is so frustrating to play. This is such a grotesque piece of work. This is such a lazy piece of work. Worse than Sparky Murky? I can tell you immediately why this is better. Sparky Murky is better than Tim Tim. They're very similar gameplay-wise. As far as quality goes, they're very different gameplay-wise. But as far as quality goes, you could even argue Tim Tim's a little better. Sparky Murky made its own fucking character. It made its own character. It did the bare minimum I expect for a mascot horror game. This couldn't even do that. This game did not do anything. This game did the amount of stock shit in this is impressive. The amount of stock shit in this game is more impressive than if it wasn't. This game sucks. You know, game also sucks is Zoonomaly. God. It's fine. We got a good game after these. Zoonomaly, I wanted to like so much more because I think it has like a really cool, interesting gimmick. A really good gimmick, actually, I'll say. It has a very good gimmick. And also, you know what? Its character designs are alright. They're fine. They're like actually pretty creepy. But man, this game's too long. This game is so tedious. This game doesn't try hard enough to be interesting. It sucks. I mean, shout out to the dev of it. The dev, what are they called? What's their TikTok handle? Oh, what are they called? Oh, fuck, what are they called? I should know this. What are they called? Lights Are Off. That's who they are. Lights Are Off. They have some really cool animations, and they have like a background animation that's pretty good. And I really respect that, you know, they had such a successful thing going with their animations, and they said, I want to make my own horror game. And they did it basically by themselves, and it actually released. It actually happened. And I really respect that. And I hope they do it again. I hope they make another game. I hope they keep doing what they want to do. Because, you know, I respect that a lot. I really hate this game, though. I never want to play this game again. I never want to play this game again. I never want to play this game again. It's so long. That's a lie. It's not that long. This game's like 3-ish hours. And in most cases, I'd be like, holy shit, a mascot horror game that's longer than 15 minutes. This is so good with the Zumbo sauce. This game sucks, though. Because it's just a series of 20 puzzles that are so similar to one another. And there's like no structure to the game. You can do the puzzles in a random order, so you have no idea which ones are meant to be the easy ones, which ones are meant to be the hard ones. You just gotta fucking kind of go for it. And it introduces new mechanics that you don't even have to use. And there's like only a few moments where it breaks the formula. And it's still boring. This game is so boring. I hate this game. Dear God, I hate this game right here. Oh, I hate this game. It's somewhere here. I'm going to take Venge off of this list, because Venge 2.0, like the update, is coming up really soon. And I haven't played this in a while. We're going to take that one off just for fairness. And we'll play the update. I might play it off stream. Maybe. I don't know. The fans of this one are kind of ravenous. They're kind of fucking evil. I don't know if I want to get involved with that again. No, we'll probably stream it. That's the only way I'll probably get myself to do it. But yeah, Zoonomaly might just straight up take its place. No, it's worse. Spacky's Night Shift is probably objectively worse, but I like it a little more. And Lovey Dovey is a funny parody game, but there are some much better parody games, you know? Like, for a parody game, it still kind of sucks. Was Lovey Dovey paid for? I don't remember. Okay, no, it was free. Fair enough. Okay, it was free. But yeah, I don't know. There's better parody games than Lovey Dovey. So, yeah. Amelia Storage World is an example of a better parody game. I'm gonna bump that up. Worship Swim is such a boring, poorly made game. Boris sucks. This one's getting rebranded though, I guess. We'll see if it's better. And I hate these games. I hate the milk games. Oh, I hate the milk games so much. Veg fans are not ravenous at all. Sure, man. Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah, and the FNAF community is a safe and coherent and totally not fucked up place too. Yeah, and also criminals and also murderers and shit. They're safe. They're safe people. Murderers and rapists, they're safe to be around. Absolutely. The Veg community is ravenous. They are ravenous people. The milk games aren't good. Most people like them, is the thing. And I don't know why. I don't know why people like these games. Artistically, the second one is way better. But man, I hate these fucking games. These games piss me off so much. These games feel like they were designed specifically tailored to the liking of a 12-year-old girl that, like, is so unbelievably privileged but thinks they have problems. The writing in these games make me so mad. I hate the way these games are written. Yeah, Xenoblade could be there. I'm fine with that. It's better than these parody games, and these games are boring as shit. This one's similarly boring as shit, but I like more than these. Yeah, Xenoblade. Yeah, fuck it. We'll leave it there. I don't care. We'll leave it there. Monstrum. I like Monstrum. Monstrum is a really cool game. It's kind of like... I never even thought about this till now. It's kind of like a much better version of the granny games. It's like randomized shit. You gotta run around this big this big location with a bunch of rooms, and you gotta collect a series of things to escape the area through different methods. It's kind of like a granny game. Huh. It's kind of like a granny game. We don't talk about Monstrum 2? There's a Monstrum 2? I didn't even know that. Ooh, mixed. Oh, it's multiplayer. Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's free to play, though. Well, I guess we'll do that someday, because I didn't even know this existed. I'll tell you what's fire, though. Monstrum in Monsters and Mortals. God, we gotta just... I don't know why this is still here. We gotta just accept the truth. Alright, so Monstrum's a good game. I like it. I like the creature designs. I like how how they each have their different, like, I like how, sorry, my brain is malfunctioning in real time. Has it already been an hour? Holy shit. I should probably speed this up. No, yeah. Monstrum, I like the way all the three different, monsters in Monstrum act differently. I like the way that it's randomized. I think it's fun to replay. I think this is a good game. I'm gonna put it bottom B. I think it's a pretty good game. I don't have any strong feelings on this one, if you can't tell. I'm trying to just kind of fumble my way through a coherent sentence. I just think this game's pretty good. God, end my pain, please. Case animatronics. This game sucks. I remember when I played this fucking game for the first time, the title of the stream was Case Animatronics, Is It More Than Just a FNAF Clone? And you know, it is. It really is. This game is not just a FNAF clone by really any means. But it's so much worse than that. This game is so boring. This game is confusing. This game is unclear with its directions. This game's map is so fucking boringly linear. This game, I mean, it's somewhere in E. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know, man. This game sucks. But at the same time, I don't know. It's weird. It sucks, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, it's not the worst game I've ever played. Man, this is tough. I'd say it's better than Grady 2. Would I say it's better than Mr. Hops 3? You know, I might have just coincidentally found the perfect place for it. I'd say these all have better qualities. And I would say these are all a little worse. 98XX recently got an update that I haven't played yet. I guess that means it's also going to have to be re-ranked at some point. I really don't want to play it again. Yeah, Case can go right there. That's pretty perfect, actually. I'm good with that. Case is not good. It's not a good game. Catastrophe Crow. God. I mean, again, I made the title what it is for a reason. This is the worst batch of games we've ever had. Catastrophe Crow, the ARG, pre this game, is so cool. Like, the original video, the What is Crow 64, is so cool. And then, for some reason, coincidentally, after the success of a good game called Shipwreck 64, they decided to release a game actually about it, after the game was, like, pretty much done. Like, sorry, the ARG was pretty much done. Like, it had, like, a cult following. This game has a cult following. It was still, like, popular. Like, to say this ARG was dead, it would be disingenuous. But, like, it was pretty much over when this game came out. This game had no fucking reason to come out. It made the ARG worse. Because all it did was retell information we already had through a really poorly done N64, spooky, lost and found game. The way this game retells the ARG is so dissatisfying. The methods at which you have to obtain information in this game sucks. One of the answers to one of the puzzles being, how many plushies did this sell on Makeship? One of the things that's being, there's like an archway outside, or like a broken up arch outside. You have to jump in between them until eventually the game triggers what's supposed to happen. Holy shit, I don't like this game. I wish this game was ever made, because the Crow ARG, the Crow 64 ARG was cool. Why did you make this? I know why you made this, because Shipwreck 64 was a good game. I'm convinced this game was made in 3 months. There's no way this game took more than 3 months to make. Absolutely no chance. And you can tell. Because it definitely only got made because of Shipwreck 64. Yeah, I mean, oh god, it's so similar. Like, Case and Xenon that we just put there. It's similar. No, there's more, there's much more charming about it than that. It has much more charming qualities than those games, is the thing. You know what? No, I changed my mind. I lied. I think Poppy Playtime Forever is better than Joyville. Crow 64, the Catastrophe Crow is going to stay here. This is where it belongs. Poppy Playtime Forever, with its custom maps, is better than these two. Yeah. I'm going to say that. Yeah, Catastrophe Crow, I wish this game was never made. My Eyes Deceive. This is such an interesting game. This game has, like, such a weird history of, like, being popular on Roblox as, like, a port of the original, and then it got taken down because the Roblox port got so much more popular. but now it was just a free game on itch. Now it's free on Steam as well, which I don't think it originally was. I have a question for chatters. For those of you that do know this game, what do you think of this game? Because I've seen such mixed responses to this game. Some people think this is the worst game ever fucking made because it's purely based on shock value, but a lot of people adore it because it's like a pretty, like, it is a, as far as indie horror goes, it tackles its subject matter in so much more of an appropriate way than others. So for those of you who don't know, I won't go too in detail with this. My Eyes Deceive is much more of an experience than a game. You don't really do anything in the game. It's more so, it's like basically a walking sim, but it's hard to call it a walking sim. It's a walking sim that takes place in one location. So in like one room, pretty much. My Eyes Deceive is like, My Eyes Deceive is an experience based around a story involving how do I phrase this? You play as a young girl, and it's a walking sim-esque experience surrounding sexual abuse at a young age, basically. And it's really fucked up. But again, what I would say about this game, in comparison to other media we've seen in this space that tackles such subject matter, it does so in a much more appropriate and tasteful way. Like, I think there are a lot of pieces of media in this space. I think there are a lot of pieces of media in this space that try to cover similar subject matter for the sake of shock value. I don't think this game did that. That's my take of the day, I guess. I think this game was genuinely made with victim. It may have been made by a victim. I'm not sure. I think it's more than possible, because I think this was done in a way that I can very much tell victims were in mind during the making of this game, and this game is meant to be something that victims can relate to and understand and be heard from. Which I wouldn't say about, I don't know, what's a fucking example? Urban Spook, I guess, is an example. I don't really want to talk about Urban Spook, and it's not a game, but, like, Urban Spook, I think, does what it does, and you can tell by the behavior of the creator that it did what it did for the sake of shock value. I think My Eyes Deceive was genuinely made with the intention of having victims be heard. I genuinely do feel that way. And I do think this game is kind of beautiful in a sense, as dark as it is, as fucked up as it is. It's a very hard one to talk about. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I think it is a good game. I think it does what it's supposed to do in a very methodical, tasteful, and appropriate manner. And I respect it greatly. And I'm going to put it... This is difficult. This is a difficult one. Maybe here? Here seems fine. It's not replayable. It's not a fun game. But it doesn't need to be. That's not the point. Some of my S tiers and my A tiers are not fun games to play. Although there's plenty of visual novels on here. But yeah, the experience that this game is, and the story that it tells, is done so in a very, I would say, respectful manner. And I really commend the dev for doing so the way they did. And it was a very hard game to play. But I respect the dev for making it, honestly. Thank you, Wandering Rock, for the $5. Wanted to ask what happened to the Insta on my stream. I explained at the beginning. Unfortunate circumstances. I also put a smaller table on the table. Sure. Thank you for the 5. I do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you to anyone that donates, of course. It means a lot to me, because it helps me a lot. It's helps me more than you know, because I don't care to talk about how much it helps me. But I appreciate you guys' support a lot. But I also appreciate you just being here and watching. I hope you're having a good time. All we're doing today is talking, but I hope you're having a good time here. All right, Rental. This game got fairly popular, actually. Rental is like an animal... A smaller me? Oh, a smaller me on the table. I thought this was a smaller table. So should I copy and paste my avatar, therefore it will move? Or should I put a still? You know what, we'll do the whole avatar. That's not disorienting at all. Perfect. Thank you, the 5. Sorry for the misread. Yeah, Rental looks like a OG Animal Crossing kind of. It looks like it's very much meant to look like a original Animal Crossing. It's very short, very simple, very cute, pretty charming. It doesn't do all that much is the thing. It's mostly based around a maze that's really irritating. No, that's a lie actually. It's like partially based around a maze that's really irritating, but before that's like a series of puzzles in a house that I guess you and your family are moving into, which is pretty decent. I think for the first time since our first stream of the tier list, we have a replacement for our top of D. Because, you know, it isn't a great game. It is a fairly mediocre game, but it's really charming in its style, and it has some okay puzzles. It has a couple decent scares, but it's very short and simple. But it didn't try to be anything more than that, so I don't want to, like, bash the game or anything. It didn't try to be a big, interesting, cool, fun, scary game. It wasn't meant to be that. It's very short and simple, but you know what? It's good for what it does. Part of me wants to bump it up to like the bottom of C, but I don't think it's a C tier game. I think it's a passable game with some pretty cool stuff in it. Stare Crown. Hit a like on this video if you know Stare Crown from Friday Night Funkin' exclusively, because I didn't know that was a thing. Stare Crown is a character that someone made, and it got really popular in the Friday Night Funkin' community. And it's like in a bunch of Friday Night Funkin' mods, and that's where it originated from, and it got really popular there. So the creator of Stare Crown made their own game about the character as like a piece of like art for fans of the character. And that's really cool. It's actually really cool. This game is cute. It's interesting. Trippy. Very trippy. Like an actual fucking acid trip of a game, and I kind of like it for that. I'm just going to shove it bottom of C, because I don't think it's great or anything, and I wish it had a little more focus on being puzzle-based, because it's like, it's meant to be a puzzle-based horror game, but its puzzles are basically just press a bunch of buttons and eventually you'll get there. Apparently, let me fact-check myself on this, because I did say this publicly on my stream. When did we play Stare Crown? It was Spin the Wheel. Yeah, the dev of Scarecrown commented. They made the FNF character a couple years back and turned to something so much more. And they are working on a sequel. And you know what? What I would say for the sequel is just make it a little more puzzle-focused. But besides that, that's really all it is. Because it's pretty spooky, and the character is interesting. And the presentation of the character is really interesting in this. Yeah, I would say it's an okay game. C tier means it's an okay game. I think it's an okay game. But yeah, I think there's plenty of potential here as well. Plenty of potential. Toytopia, formerly in should be illegal tier, but thanks to me being the savior of mascot horror /J, in case anyone tries to bully me for that. Yeah, this game is now playable because of me. So it's no longer a should be illegal tier game. W. And it's mid. It's a mid game. There's a lot of stuff in this game I like. I think the gimmick is very cute and charming. I think the character design, bangin'. I think it's Wallace is the name. I think great character design. We'll stand by that. Great character design. And there's some really good ideas here. For the resources at hand and for the people that worked on this game, it's a pretty impressive piece of work. You know, it's cute, it's charming, but it's not a very good game. It's not a very good game. It's very, very mediocre. Nothing particularly great about it. Just as a complete package. They will. They will be. The Toytopia dev team is still working on Toytopia. It is not over by any means. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. So kind of like it more than. I need to. I know I need to play the later I'm on Space Duty games because apparently they get better. But I don't know. This first one is just so boring to me that I didn't bother to check out any others. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it where it is. If Help Wanted didn't have its DLC, hilariously, it'd be here. But yeah, with its DLC, Help Wanted can stay there. Slender, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Slender too many bonus points for being like a classic, which I don't really need to do because the Arrival's all the way up here. Like the original Slender is not a good game. It's already in like low D tier. But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's scary. I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't think Toytopia in its state is better than yeah, I don't think it's better than or I don't think it's worse than Toytopia. I don't think Slender is worse than Toytopia. Toytopia can stay here. It is you know, it's cute and charming and I hope it gets better with time. Playtown 2, this just came out. This is, speaking of my influence, this game was removed from Steam due to me. You know, I don't want to have a biased review of this. Like, I haven't moved Playtown since my video came out. You know, I have no ill will towards the dev of this game. I just think he's an idiot. But you know what? That's okay. A lot of people are idiots. Yeah, Playtown 2 though, this game does kind of suck. This game tried a lot harder than Playtown 1 did, and I respect it for that, but it didn't end up working out in their favor. Some of the puzzles in this game are really shit. But also, here's a main thing for me in this is the antagonists have voices, and they suck and really ruin like the game. They really ruin like everything about the experience a lot of the time. In the sections where the characters are talking, it ruins everything about the experience. Genuinely. Everything. Like, it completely breaks the immersion. It makes it so not scary. Yeah, the voice acting in this game really takes me out of it. And the end of it is really bad. The final sequence is really bad. But at the same time, you know, there's some platforming sections that I think are actually kind of interesting. Almost Finding Frankie-esque, although Finding Frankie will most definitely do it a lot better. There's some okay platforming sections. There's some okay puzzles. The game looks pretty nice. It's a UE5 game, so I expect it to look nice. But looks pretty nice. Well, actually, there's one major thing about this game, which is its level of distance, its LODs. I'm not a game dev, so I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on this topic or anything. But objects and like major objects, like very apparent and prominent objects, will like load in and out directly in front of you. Like, it's crazy how much that happens. It's pretty dire. I think it's like, I genuinely think it's like on par with the first one is the thing. Because like I think it tried harder than the first, and I respect it for that. And it does a lot more. It like the best things about this one are better than the best things about Playtown, of which there aren't that many, of course. But like as a complete package, this game has worse things about it. It's kind of like how Banban 2 and 1 are kind of the same fucking game, even though 2 has so much more in it. It's because 2 has so much more in it, but that makes it more filler and more boring and more frustrating. They're basically the fucking same. Yeah, they're the same. They're the same game. Emily Wants to Play is better as well. Actually, you know what? They're not the same. I'm going to put these 3 all ahead of 1, but not ahead of 2. These 3, I think, are better. Iron Lung still sucks, though. For the record, can we stop pretending Iron Lung is a good game? Though I will be watching the movie exclusively to see Markiplier. Fuck, Sparky Marky 2. There's so many bad games on this list. There's so many bad games on this list. Just had to drink some Gatorade before I get mad again. Sparky Marky episode 2 is better than the first episode. Just like how getting AIDS would be marginally better than getting cancer. I don't know. Do I put it any higher than this? It's better than Scorn. It's better than Scorn. It's not better than Hello Neighbor, though. Yeah, better than Scorn. I hate Scorn. I hate Scorn. I hate Scorn so much. I only played Scorn because Zach told me it was their least favorite game ever made, and I was like, surely not. However, I will expose you to it once again for the funny. No, this is one of the worst games ever. This game sucks. Yeah, Sparky Murky 2 is better than the first one. That's it. And Scorn. Exiled. I like Exiled. I think Exiled is a pretty cool, charming game. It's a game where you gotta, like, decode an ancient language to save your wife or some shit. I think Exiled is actually a really cool, charming game. The way you have to solve the puzzle in this is so engaging. This is a really engaging game. I felt so smart playing this game. I had so much fun playing this game. It's not anything great. It's not a very long game. It's not a big game. But you know what? It's a cool, charming game. I'm going to put it right here between Outlast and Therapy with Dr. Albert Kruger. Long title. Exiled is a really cool puzzle game. The thing is, it's not any more than that, so I'm not going to give it a lot of credit for being outstanding, but it's a cool puzzle game. It's a really cool puzzle game. I like it. Big fan. Not a big fan, because it's not in B tier, but fan of it. Limbo. Limbo is a game I have such mixed feelings on. Because here's the thing. Some parts of this game are so poorly thought out and designed that it makes me really angry. But with that being said, it's a pretty good platformer. This is like the least horror game on this tier list. You could argue it shouldn't really be on here. I'd call it an atmospheric horror game. But you could argue it's not really a horror game, but I'm going to count it. But yeah, the art style of this game is pretty fire. And a lot of the game is fun to play. But holy shit. There's just a handful of moments in this game with like puzzle elements and platforming elements that are just so poorly designed that they are so frustrating. They are so frustrating. And that really ruined my first time playing this game. Like, the first time I played this game, I was getting so frustrated. I'm going to be so honest. I was getting so frustrated. But, on replay, if you want to play it again, it's so much better. And platforming-wise, it's a decent platformer. Art style-wise, it's good. I think it's a very obvious C-tier game. Very distinctly C-tier. I will sandwich it between Welcome to the Game and Poppy Chapter 1, maybe? Maybe? I should just remove Dead by Daylight off the tier list. I put it on here initially because here's the thing about Dead by Daylight. It started as an indie game and became AAA. And until recently, Tiermaker, this weird-ass website, didn't let you remove things from tier lists. Like, from the template, you could not remove things. So if you ever accidentally had a duplicate of something, too bad. You gotta just remake it. So I never took it off. Realistically, we should take it off. I just kind of like having it on here. Because, I don't know. It still kind of fits. But Behavior has like 1,000 employees. It's not an indie game. I'll remove that after the stream. Shouldn't be there anymore. Is this good? I mean, again, some people would hate me for how high I put some of these Hello Neighbor games. But, I mean, the sales speak for themselves. Tiny Build almost went out of business 6 months ago. You guys didn't fucking play these games. So you're not allowed to have an opinion on these games. Like, a lot of people would say it's bad that they're this high. You didn't play them. The numbers speak for themselves. These games are alright. Yeah, Limbo's fine where it is. It's a very solid platformer, but with some... I really wish it was B tier, but some things about it really hold it back. Ring Academy. You know, I weirdly really like Ring Academy. Ring Academy is such an interesting, abstract horror game. Like, a really abstract, weird, fucked up kind of style. And it has like it's like mascot horror-esque in the sense that it has like a primary gimmick that's very mascot horror-y, which is that it's a game of ring toss. It's a horror game based around ring toss. And there's some really good scares in it. There's some really fun sequences in it. The style is so interesting. Like, for a short, free horror game, yeah, this is a good one. This is a really good one, actually. It's somewhere B range for me, personally. I think it's a really fun, cool, interesting game. It's very short, of course, but it's worth replaying is the thing. Like, it's such an interesting experience that's worth replaying. Right there. I'm good with it right there. Yeah, I think this is actually a really cool, fun, unique game. It's a good one. Last Seen Online. We just played this, and I will say it's also really goddamn cool. The puzzle in this game, bro, the fucking playlist puzzle, for those of you that were here, you'll know what I'm talking about. The playlist puzzle, where you gotta use a series of songs in a specific order to solve a code. God, that was so cool. That was so cool. Some of the puzzles, though, were technically broken. Because, like, I just spammed a bunch of tiles on a door, and eventually it opened, which isn't what I was supposed to do. And Damian Lee was shocked that I got through it. But no, this is a really cool game. Really unique concept about a girl struggling in her household that gets stuck in a fucking computer. It's decently spooky, really interesting concept, pretty good puzzles. I think this is a pretty clear B tier. Probably bottom of B. I don't really think it's better than any of these necessarily, but I think it's a B tier. I think this is a really cool, cute puzzle game, and I like it quite a bit. Greg's Deadly Draft. How many of you have heard of this game, Greg's Deadly Draft? Because I didn't stream it, though I definitely should have in hindsight. Greg's Deadly Draft. Well, hang on, let me just pull up how the fucking creators of this game describe it. Greg's Deadly Draft is a meta sports mascot horror game. And for those of you that don't know, Stinger Flynn is in this game. Like, officially. The Banban universe is massive. You got Choo Choo Charles in Banban. And Stinger Flynn is in Greg's Deadly Draft. Like, the lore is insane. Is Monsters and Models... We gotta move. I forgot Monsters and Models still up there. This is our replacement. No, yeah, Greg's Deadly Draft, I'm going to say it, I think it's alright. Because the thing about this game is it's very self-aware. The devs are very self-aware of what this is. There's a strip club joke in this game. You go to a fucking strip club in this game. Like, it's nothing graphic, but you can tell. Like, it's basically a parody. It's very much basically a parody. They call it a meta mascot horror game. Like, it has some pretty cute moments. It's very funny. It has some real... It's very self-aware. It's very entertaining. It's decently fun. Realistically, it's still not great. It's still not great, but for a parody, it's a great parody. This is like a great parody mascot horror game with some really funny moments. It's somewhere in the D range for me. I would say it's worse than Banban 7, because Banban 7 I do think is just a mid mascot horror game, and this I would say is a good parody, but also a mid mascot horror game. Let's Find Larry I think accomplishes more. I think I like it more than Granny though. Like first Granny? Yeah, I think this is fine. Greg's Deadly Draft is like a pretty good parody mascot horror game. That's like pretty fun to play. Just don't take it seriously, you know? Like, we allow parodies on this game. Which we do have to rank by like different metrics. We do have some upcoming. Where the hell are they? We got some parodies on here still. Like it's harder to rank parody horror games on this tier list. I understand that. Like the rules of this tier list are arbitrary as fuck. But that's why it all comes down to my opinion. I don't let you guys have a say because I'm just too goated with the Zumbo sauce. In all fairness, I'm gonna just say this now on the record. You can clip this. You can hate me for my opinions. That's fine. And you can get mad at some of my opinions. I understand that. I think anyone that's played as many fucking indie horror games as I have has every right to have an opinion on these fucking games. I think anyone that's sat down and played to completion this many indie horror games is allowed to have a fucking say in them. that will always be my defense. I have every right to openly express my opinion when I have this many on my resume. Greg's Daily Draft is cute and interesting. The other side, we also played this one interesting. This is from the same developer as Buckshot Roulette. And you know what? It's not nearly as good. In fact, I don't think it's all that good. It's fine. It's almost like Sit and Survive. You gotta complete a series of tasks to break free from this like bunker, I guess, that you've been locked in forever. The problem is only during the second half of the game. Only during the second half of the game is there an active threat, and it's still very easy. Like a major part of this game, the literal first half of the game is just a game of completing a series of monotonous tasks to learn how to play the game for the second half, which is still not all that hard. I wish it just had a very short and simple tutorial, and then a much more challenging, just like gameplay loop. It's mid. It's a mid game, but some good ideas on display ultimately. And it's still upper mid, I'd say. Like, it's mid-mid. It's mid-mid. I'll put it here. Because, like, Mr. Whiskers, which I think was just renamed to Whiskers, has some really frustrating puzzles. But there's still some really good puzzles here and some really good art styles. And some really good artwork. In fact, we're going to bump you up by 1. Because I think Pony Island is pretty overrated. Don't really care for the puzzles in this one nearly as much as this one. But yeah, the other side, it's a mid-game. But, no disrespect by calling it that, but that's just how I see it. Hey, finally we have a should be illegal. Actually, we have 3 should be illegal tiers on the way. Should be illegal tier is a business in should be illegal tier is about to be booming. This is Baldina. This is a clone of Baldi's Basics that costs more money than Baldi's Basics. It is a carbon fucking copy. But Baldi's Remastered is free, and this game is $5. Yeah, this game blows. That should be illegal right there. This game should not be allowed to be sold on Steam. That is outrageous. That is insane. That is insane. Fragment of Humanity. This is a VR indie horror game, and I assume it's from a pretty inexperienced dev, so I don't want to be mean about it, but I only say that because the game is pretty bad. And it's also really unoptimized. I'm remembering now, this game is 25 gigs. It's like 20 minutes and takes place in like one room. Like, it is baffling. And I want to check if this game costs money. Yeah, it did. It's $5. And yeah, it sucks. This game blows. It plays terribly. It looks terrible. It's poorly lit. It has like no interesting mechanics to it, no uniqueness, no personality, nothing interesting about it. Yeah, this game is bad. But again, I don't want to be mean. I'm on my peaceful arc. I will make fun of some of these games, but I don't want to. I don't like back in the day when I used to. I used to be a lot more harsh on devs. I used to be a lot more harsh on games in general. I want to be more on my peaceful arc. When I say these games suck, unless I say something specifically about the dev, I'm not bashing the dev. I do regret a lot of back in the day when we would talk about these games, and I was much more mean about it. I regret those days. Those days I want to put behind me. I think this game sucks. I do think this game blows, but no disrespect with that intended. I'm gonna put it here. It's an F tier. It is one of the worst games on here for sure. It has literally no qualities, literally none. Yeah, I can't put any higher than that. All right, should be illegal tier, baby. We got Five Nights No Escape. So imagine if you took FNAF 1 from FNAF VR, and you made that a whole fucking game and sold it. Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed. Five Nights No Escape is a okay, I'm over-exaggerating, but still. It's a FNAF VR game that combines FNAF 1, 2, and also multiplayer. So, it's FNAF 1, but it also has a mask and event. And also, it is multiplayer. You can co-op with somebody. I played it with Johnny Blocks. You can co-op with somebody, and each of you will be in charge of managing one side of the room. And multiplayer saves this game from being terrible. It's kind of like fun to play with a buddy. But yeah, I don't think this game should be allowed at all. I do not think, like, again, Case is kind of its own thing. It does something. It does enough of its own shit. This is just Help Wanted, but less. And it's money. It costs money. How much did this game cost? I don't remember. Surely not that much. $10 American. Yeah, that's pretty inexcusable. Yeah, this game I don't think should be allowed on Steam. And also should not be allowed. We got more FNAF. Five Nights at Floppa. This game's funny. This game's cute. This game should not be allowed to be sold on Steam. Five Nights at Floppa costs money on Steam, and it's just a FNAF game, but with PNGs of cats. It's kind of cute and kind of like people know, like people in the FNAF community like know this game. Like it's almost a bit of an icon in the community. But like this game is terrible and is just FNAF. Like again, there are FNAF-esque games that can be their own thing. Case is an example of that. Flumpty became that. Percy is that. And like T-Jock very well could be that with just a reskin of the characters. But like this is just FNAF. This is just FNAF. So yeah, both these are just FNAF, which is why they're in should be illegal tier. God, I forgot where we were in life. How did we get here? How am I still here? Toilet Chronicles. This is a parody horror game that takes place in a bathroom with some really goofy puzzles and like a weird abstract kind of style. And you know what? It's not bad. It's not a bad game. It's an okay puzzle game. It's pretty funny. It's goofy, and I kind of like its style. It has some good jokes. It has some good jokes in it. But ultimately, it's like an escape room puzzle game that has some bad jokes as well. You know, I think it's very middle of the road. God, D tier is too big. God, this is so hard to do. D tier is just so massive. Oh boy, this is hard. Yeah, D tier is just such a fucked up tier list or tier. For anyone that doesn't remember our ratings of how this works, consider D tier games that I would rate somewhere in the 4 to 5 out of 10 area. That's what it means. D tier games that I would rank somewhere in the 4 to 5 out of 10 area. This is on the lower end, though. This is definitely on the lower end. Because I don't think this game is all that fun. And I don't think it's all that funny. But it can be as a thing. God, it's such a mixed bag. This is such a mixed bag. I might just leave it here. Because now that I am looking at it, I kind of think all of these do something better. We're just going to leave it here. You rate Rainbow Friends higher than Bendy the Ink Machine? Oh, absolutely. 100%. If it was just Rainbow Friends Chapter 1, it would go lower. But with Chapter 2 included, Rainbow Friends Chapter 2, I will fucking say this on the record. I do not care. I don't care how much you love this game because you grew up with it and forgot how boring it was. Or you didn't even play it because you just saw Jacksepticeye play it and you didn't realize how boring it was to play because the editing was fast-paced. Rainbow Friends Chapter 2 is better than almost anything in Bendy 1. Dark Revival is really good. Great game. There's the aesthetic and story of Bendy the Ink Machine cannot outweigh how boring it is. The Salvation Project. I fucking love this game. I love the Salvation Project. I would love to make a video on this game, honestly. The Salvation Project is like a low poly kind of silly horror game based around like Christian propaganda. It like parodies Christian propaganda. And it does a really good job out of it. Like a really good job of being like kind of scary but also really entertaining. And it uses like it uses like this TV show with this like Kermit the Frog-esque character to like basically so there's a Kermit the Frog-esque character that hosts this Christian propaganda show, and you play the game from the perspective of the protagonist who has schizophrenia, and she takes everything that the show is saying really to heart. But then the show ends up being the exact opposite of what it says it is, and it's actually a means of getting access to devil worship. But it's really, like, deep down, you can tell by the end of the game, it's definitely meant to just be a schizophrenic delusion from the protagonist. Really interesting, really creative, really good parody content, but also really good regular content. This game is a borderline fucking S for me, but no, it's like, it's definitely B range. Like, this is a good game. I think I would have put it here, maybe. No, I'll put it below FNAF 6. Some people don't like FNAF 6. I like FNAF 6 quite a bit. Yeah, I'll put it there. This is a really cute game, really creative game. It's not outstanding or anything, but the way this parody is like Christian propaganda, and the way it's actually like from the perspective of individual with schizophrenia, very interesting concepts, but it's also really entertaining. It has a couple decent scares. Great. Love it. How Fish is Made. This is also a really interesting game. I don't think it's fantastic, but it's an interesting game. How Fish is Made is a weird abstract horror game where you play as a fish. And it has like some Katamari-esque... That's the name of the game, right? I'm not insane, right? That's the game? Yeah, Katamari. It has some Katamari-esque mechanics where you, like, get a bunch of fish together and you become a big ball of fish and gross shit. It also has a musical number where a fish dances and sings at you. Yeah, it's a weird game, but I like it. It's like somewhere C range, maybe below Exile. Nah, it's a little lower than that. Exile is pretty cool. Therapy Without a Trigger is cool. Flumps 2... There. That's good with me. Right there. That's where I'm going to put it. That sounds good to me. This tier list is so fucking big. This tier list is massive. Again, I got every right to talk about this fucking genre. I want you to understand the amount of time this would take. I've thought about calculating how much time this would have taken me, but I don't want to do that. I've already calculated how much... at one point, I calculated how much this tier list would cost if you were to buy every game, and that's already out of date by, like, 40 games, and it was about $1,600. Like, I've really dedicated myself to this space. I deserve a little bit of credit for that. Preston's Hourglass. I don't understand this game. I don't understand. Why do so many people know what this is? Why do so many people talk about this game on Twitter? Preston's Hourglass is a parody-ish horror game where there's a guy named Preston who I think is a peanut, and the main mechanic revolves around this hourglass that you use to freeze time, and you got to collect a series of pages like it's Slender Man. And also Preston curses a lot when he catches you. He'll say, I don't know, like, go fuck yourself or something like that. I don't get it, but it's actually not that bad. It's not like, and by not that bad, I mean it's not an F tier game, but like it's pretty funny, and the main mechanic is actually kind of interesting, the freezing time element. But I mean, it's still like, is this game better than Zoonomaly? That's really hard to think of, actually. It is. It's better than Zoonomaly. I would say it's better than Spacky's. Is it better than Spacky's Night Shift? This is my job. This is the kind of shit I talk about. Is Preston's Hourglass, the game about the peanut that curses at you, better or worse than Spacky's Night Shift with the living cheeseburgers? This is what I do every day. This is my life. This is what I do. This is who I am. Anyway, I'm going to say it is... I'm bumping this down. Fuck this game. Wow, this is difficult. I'm going to say it's worse. Because Preston is entertaining, and it has an okay gimmick, and Spacky's is very jank, but aesthetically it's so much more interesting. And like conceptually, it's more interesting, I'd say. Yeah. The Building 71 incident. You know what I'll say about this game? The Building 71 incident has some of the best atmosphere and like tension building in this whole list. It's like a very anxiety-inducing game to play. I don't think it's a great game. It doesn't do all that much. And it has like a weird alien cult theme. But yeah, the atmosphere in this game is really what carries it. Like, atmosphere is really important in the horror genre, especially. And this game fucking does it well. Like, it does it really well. Like, I think, like, on scare factor, on, like, atmosphere, and just, like, so many elements of the game design that are so good in this, I think it's a B tier, honestly. Actually, no. No. I think it's top of C. C is officially 3 layers tall. God, this tier list is too big. Bro, C, D, and E are all 3 layers in height. And B tier, by the time we get to our next batch, B tier will probably be that too. And A tier is teetering on double layers. Oh no. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff on this tier list. But yeah, I would say it's a C tier. But like, it's teetering. It is very much teetering. I kind of want to put it in B. I don't think, again, I don't know if this game accomplishes enough and does enough for me to confidently say that it's a B tier game. But what it does do, nah, fuck it, this is my list. This is my list. This is me. I'm the professional. I'm gonna put it in B. The atmosphere is chilling. Concept is interesting. I like it. I like this game. Let's fucking go. We got Peak in the house. Go play these games. We got the Toings Pops duology. I fucking love Toings Pops. I love Toings Pops so much. So Toings Pops is a parody mascot horror game that is so entertaining. This is probably one of my favorite parodies on this list. It is so funny. Toings Pop started as a Banban parody, or it started as a mascot horror parody after Banban first came out. And it's very simple. It's very stupid. It's a little irritating at times, but it is still funny. It's low on this list though. Like, Toings Pops 1 doesn't have all that much going for it. Yeah, I'll just sandwich it between Spec Stitch and Preston's Hourglass because I do think it's more entertaining than Preston's Hourglass. But bro, Toings Pops 2, as a game, it's still not great. It's not going to go high, but it's so funny. This game is so unbelievably funny. Very entertaining stuff here. Shockingly good cutscenes. Like, some of this stuff is really high quality. It's really weird. And gameplay-wise, it is actually like a step up. Like, I would go as far as say this game is like right here. Honestly, like, I would say it's better than a lot of these. Like, there's a couple, like, this game is very boss fight focused, and the boss fights are pretty good. This game has, since I played it on stream, been optimized and updated to be a lot more refined and good. It plays pretty well, and man, the cutscenes are so fucked up. The lore of this game is ridiculous. I don't know the lore of this game. I can't tell. It's so confusing, but I love it. It's very entertaining. Entertainment value alone gives it a lot of points. We're going to put it here. What do you think? What will you do when you reach 1,000 indie horror games? I don't think that will ever happen. But if we ever cross 500, I think we're going to start a whole new list. And just let this one sit here and rest in peace. And start up a new one from scratch. And just have to, like, rework the metrics as time goes on. Because this is, like, 220? Something like that, probably. I don't think we'll ever quintuple that. Fuck. Okay. All She Wants for Christmas Is You. A Mariah Carey-inspired Christmas horror game that released 3 weeks after Christmas. It's an okay puzzle game that's just really jank and kind of ugly. I think this game looks pretty bad. It's nothing more really than like an okay puzzle game that gets a little irritating at points and looks kind of bad and is also not like funny or scary. Like that's the thing. I can give Toinks Pops credit for being funny. I can give some of these great titles credit for being scary. I don't know what this one is trying to do because it doesn't really do either. I was a little harsh on it when I first played it. I don't think it's that bad in hindsight, and I've played it since I first played it. I don't think it's that bad, but it's still like here, I'd say. No, it's got to be lower than that though. No, yeah, it has to be lower than that. Yeah, I don't think this game is very good. Its puzzles are just not. Its puzzles aren't that fun to play. It's not funny or scary. I don't understand what this game is trying to be, and whatever it's trying to be is kind of stupid. So yeah, I'm putting it. I think it's better than Emily Wants to Play. I would say. Emily Wants to Play, I think, has a sequel that I should probably play. But yeah, I'd say it's better than Emily Wants to Play. I'm just put it there. I just don't think this game is good in really any regard, except for that some of the puzzles are kind of satisfying. There's some satisfying puzzles. Exanium the Silent Call. This was a game I was given to by the dev, which, you know, I'm always appreciative of. And always means a world, and that always means great. It means a lot to me when devs reach out to me asking me to play their game. But that doesn't change my opinion ultimately on the game. And I just don't think there's anything all that really great about this game. It looks pretty good. Graphically, it's pretty good. But story-wise, it's generic. Visually, aesthetically, it's generic. There's really not any gameplay. There's no incentive to explore. There's not much scare factor. It's just kind of a... It's the main thing is, it's not that bad of a game, but it's really generic. So it's not, like, really outstanding in any regard. It's also probably an E tier, I think. It could be D, because again, like, it's okay, but it's just so plain. It's so personalityless. Which, yeah, but no, I gotta deduct points for that. You know what? I'm gonna bump Burger Barn up. I keep looking at Burger Barn, and I just need to bump that one up. Burger Barn isn't as bad as... We're gonna bump Burger Barn up a whole tier. That's my executive decision for the day. Burger Barn's not that bad. It's just so inferior to its sequel, and it's just so boring gameplay-wise, whereas Burger Farm is so based around its gameplay. But you know what? Story-wise, aesthetically-wise, scare-wise, it still has a lot going for it there. And this is going to become our new top of E, maybe? But I can't... No! God, this is so difficult. Because I can't in good conscience say this is better than Dark Deception. As much as I don't like Dark Deception, I don't think it's better than that. But I also don't think Dark Deception is better than Egghead Gum Tea or Banban 3. As much as Dark Deception fans might want to say that it is, it doesn't actually do anything better than these two games, except for graphics, which, that's just you being entertained by jingling keys. I'll leave it there. It's on this, like, the same level as All She Wants for Christmas Is You. Which does have more personality, but it's just a fundamentally worse game than this. Yeah, this is fine. I gotta stop looking at this. This is fine. Notes to Myself. This is like a weird, short, I believe, free, abstract horror game. It's perfectly middle of the road as well. Notes to Myself. I don't know if anyone watching this knows that. How did I find this? I know how I found this because I just always look for indie horror games. Is this the one? Yeah, it literally has 30 reviews. It's not a popular game. I like its style, though. It has, like, an I'm Scared-esque, pixely-esque style. Oh, God. That's the trailer. It has some cool abstract scares in it, but it's nothing outstanding by any means. Pretty middle of the road. Put it, right here. I'm fine with that, sure. Don't Face Up. This game pisses me off so much. Again, no disrespect to the dev. This is a very small game on this list, but Don't Face Up sounds like a good idea on paper till you realize it makes the game unplayable. Don't Face Up is a game where there's a high chance of you dying if you look up. Do you know how fucking annoying that makes the game to play? Like, absurdly so. It is so unbelievably annoying to play because of its very core mechanic. The fundamental idea behind this game makes it borderline unplayable. So yeah, this game sucks. This game's real bad. Um, is it worse than Hide Time? Yeah. No, it's not. We'll leave it there. It's a terrible game. Again, just the very core idea made this game so unbelievably annoying to play. Kitty Kart 64. This is I could be wrong with this, but I think it's the only Game Jam game on here. It can't be. No, there has to be another, but normally I try to exclude Game Jam games because obviously inherently by design they weren't given as much of an opportunity to be anything outstanding. But still, I think this one has actually ended up pretty good. So I wanted to include it. Kitty Kart 64 is like a lost N64 racing game that's all spooky and twisted and cursed. And that's a popular gimmick, of course. It's like it's not anything all that unique or original, but it does it pretty well. And also it's rare you see that idea with a racing game as well. But it's Baldi started as a Game Jam game, but it became more than that. Like I'm saying, I don't think this game has received an update since its Jam entry. Maybe it has though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I actually still think it's really cool. It's a bottom of seats here for me. I like it. God damn it, we got another. Yeah, we're stacking up these tiers. But no, yeah, I think it's bottom of seat. I don't think there's anything. It's nothing outstanding, of course, because again, it doesn't need to be, and it couldn't be that. But yeah, it is very charming. Great, some pretty great scares. A little directionless, I will say. I remember I was trying to find because it's a racing game, there were like different paths you could go down, and I was really trying to figure out what the path was supposed to be, and it was really irritating to figure it out. But honestly, I would love to see this game continue to be worked on and become like a full, fucked up, cursed old school racing game. I think it's a great idea, and I would love to see more of that. But yeah, it's pretty cool as it is. It's an alright game. Gynophobia. This game blows. This game is bad. Gynophobia is a first-person shooter horror game from the perspective of someone that has both gynophobia, the fear of women, and arachnophobia, the fear of spiders. This is a game about being scared of women. So you start off the game too scared to talk to women, too scared to be around spiders. And then you play this FPS game on a computer in universe. You play an FPS game on a computer. The mechanics suck. This game feels terrible. This game feels terrible to play. And then, yeah, you play that game, and then in-game you go to sleep, and then there's a dream sequence where you shoot mutated women and spiders, and it sucks. The gameplay of this game fucking sucks. And then once you awake from the dream, because you completed the dream sequence, you conquer your fear, and then you have the confidence to kill a spider and also talk to a woman. Good for you, I guess. No, yeah, the mechanics of the game, like, it's hilarious on paper, and it's, like, a really funny idea. It sounds really offensive. It's not that offensive, but, like, it's still kind of, it's just cringe is the thing at the end of the day. It's cringe. And it feels really terrible to play. This game feels terrible to play. I kind of want to put it bottom of E, but it could be an F, It could be. Nah, I'll leave it there. It's a bottom of E game. This game blows. We got titties on the tier list now. Maybe I'll get more views that way. Quiet is the Eyes. This game was actually really cute and charming. Very short and simple. Quiet in the Eyes is like a 2D pixel art horror game. It's like a side scroller that's mostly puzzle focused. You're in like a laboratory that I guess is experimenting on monsters and creatures and shit. It's kind of like the Resident Evil meme of you find a paper that says this is this spooky ass monster that could definitely kill people. I hope it doesn't escape. And then you get another note and it says, oh no, it escaped. It's basically that meme as a whole game, and it's pretty cute and well done. Nothing outstanding, but it's a pretty good puzzle game. 2D, very good artwork as well. And some pretty decent puzzles. I'm feeling like there. And immediately makes... I know I said I wouldn't praise this game too highly. I'm bumping it up further. And you know what? We're bumping... You know what? Nah, we gotta rearrange some C tiers here. Granny is gonna go there. Faith is gonna go there. Quiet is the is this gonna stay? Yeah, it's gonna stay. Immediately makes is gonna go there. All right, Happy's Clocks. This game blows. Hate this game. None of you will know this game. It's Happy's Clocks. Is a first-person, not mascot horror game. It's not that. It's an indie horror game. Nah, it's basically a mascot. It's a mascot horror game without any charm that a mascot horror game could theoretically have. In fact, it's too high right now. Like, this game has essentially no redeeming quality. Yeah, this game is very jank. This game controls terribly. It has no puzzle. Like, this game is the definition of walking sim, more so than Spookies. And I mean it like Spookies is a good walking sim. This is an example of the worst walking sim possible. There's no puzzles. There's no combat. There's very little threat. It's very unclear what you're supposed to do. The whole environment is basically just pitch black. There's no colors to the game. There's no details to the environments of the game. There's nothing in this fucking game. This game has nothing. The reason it's not lower is because it's not frustrating to... It is, though. This is one of the worst games on this list. I'm reliving it now. I'm reliving it in real time. This is one of the worst games on this list. We're going to put it there. This game sucks. Has literally no qualities. Joyland. Joyland is a really interesting one. I know all these games sound the same with Toytopia and Playtown and Joyland and Joyville. I know they all sound the same. Just bear with me. Joyland, I really wanted Joyland to be good, but it's just not a very good game. But it has some really redeeming qualities, mostly its characters and animation. It's a mascot horror game, definitely Security Breach inspired. You go to like what is the place meant to be? It's like a theater, but it's also kind of like the Pizzaplex from Security Breach. I guess it's a theater. And it has some really charming characters, with like you got a character whose head is a TV. You got the what the fuck was the character's name? The character that like instructs you. Will it be on the Steam page? Because I do like that. God, I'm not going to be able to remember it. If I look up Joyland characters, there's no way this game is popular enough. Nah, fucking Dark Deception Joyland characters come up. Oh, what's the name? I'm trying so hard to figure out this name. You have no idea. I want it so bad. I don't know it. There's a character that's like Circus Baby-esque that instructs you around, is meant to be like a good guy, and I really like them, and the animation is really charming, and to my knowledge this was made by somebody in high school over the course of a year, so I really respect the dev of this game, and I do hope they make a Chapter 2 that ends up being better. But yeah, gameplay-wise, it's really jank. There's like this big maze area that's just really nothing. There's a lot of... But there are some good puzzles, There are some good puzzles that are okay. But it's also like, at the very start of the game, there's like this whole quiz section that's like... I wouldn't know this shit. Like, one of the questions I remember was, when was the United States founded? And I'm like, I don't live in the fucking States. I didn't learn American history. I don't need to know this shit, so I don't know this shit. Yeah, there's some bad quizzes, a bad maze, a couple bad puzzles, but there's also a few good puzzles, really charming characters, decent animation work. Bottom of D. Yes, they did fix the soft lock. Also, when I first played it, yes, I got soft locked, but they fixed it. We are approaching the end of the list, finally. Wow, I didn't think this would be this long. How long have our tier listers been before? Because, again, this feels like it's been going on for a while. The Friends We Left Behind, is that the name of this game? I can't see it because it's too small, but I remember this game very vividly because it wasn't that long ago. Friends We Left Behind? It is The Friends We Left Behind, yes. The Friends We Left Behind is weirdly cinematic. It's a very cinematic mascot horror game. Like, it's point and click based, and it's very not gameplay focused, but it's also like a really charming experience, despite how bare bones the gameplay is. Like, the cutscenes are really well done, the story and characters is really interesting, but it's also not really a game. Like, this, I wouldn't call this a game. It's like a cinematic experience with some point-and-click mechanics, but it's a really good example of that. And by really good, I mean it's an okay example of that. I'm gonna just say this is our new top of D because it's teetering on C, honestly. Because again, I think the animations of this game is really cool. I think the character designs are pretty cool. Some of the mechanics are okay. But yeah, it's nothing all that special because there's also like the end of the game, the final sequence of the game is really jank and goofy, and some of the mechanics that they do try to implement don't really work. And also, again, it's not really a game, and this is a video game tier list, and it's meant to be a video game. But no, it's cool. And to my knowledge, a sequel recently came out. Let me fact check that. And the reason I haven't played it is because there's no way it's worth the price. Yeah, Imaginary Friend Asylum came out a month ago, and it's $20. That's a lot for the mascot horror genre. So, I mean, I'll give it a go at some point. That's a big ask. Alright, we've reached peak. The Mushi's Kitchen series. Mushi's Kitchen is another parody mascot horror game. And, you know, it is one of my favorite examples of the parodies, of the mascot horror parodies. It's actually a really great one, with like a whole story, some unique characters. It's really strange, but it's, I don't know how to describe Mushi's Kitchen. I don't know how to explain Mushi's Kitchen. Mushi's Kitchen 1 is whatever. How do I'm trying really hard to think of on the spot how to describe Mushi's Kitchen. Mushi's Kitchen, this fucking game, what's this one called? Cheese something? What's the last one called? Cheese Rampage. This one actually has some like unironically great ideas for a horror game that I would love to see fleshed out by either the dev or a different dev. Like, take inspiration from it. Okay. Mushi's Kitchen 1 is funny, and that's about it, is the thing. It's funny. And it's kind of it's a little frustrating to play, but it's funny. This is somewhere in the E range, I guess. I don't know. Which isn't to say that it's bad, even though that's inherently what that means. Again, it's harder to discuss these parody ones. But no, this is like, we're just going to put it right next to Twing's Pops 1. Because they're both examples of funny parody horror games that don't really have anything else going on for them besides they're a funny thing to laugh at once. Mushi's 2, though, actually has like pretty okay combat and cool endings. And it's way funnier. So we're going to bump this one up higher. God, it feels insulting to some of these games to put a parody game so much higher than them. But we have Twing's Pops 2 in D tier, so I think it's okay. This one is much funnier and has more mechanics that are actually pretty competent. But also, for the record, man, I would so much rather play Mushi's 2 than all the games I'm passing it by right now. I'm going to put it there. We're bumping down Iron Lung even lower. Stop pretending Iron Lung is a good game. It's 2024. We can stop pretending. And then Mushi's Kitchen 3, I think, is basically on par with 2. It has like FPS mechanics instead of melee combat mechanics, and they're pretty decent. They're all right. They feel better than fucking Gynophobia. It feels pretty all right to play. It's a little worse though. It's less funny, I would say, but the ending is fire. The ending goes crazy, but it's a little less funny. And then Mushi's Kitchen Cheese Rampage is like a little tedious to play, I guess you could say, but it's actually like fucking cool. Let's put this at the very top. Because I don't think, realistically putting in D tier is giving it a little too much credit. None of these are great games, but they're really entertaining. No, I'm lying to you. We can put this one in D, and we can bump these up a little higher, I think. Maybe? I'm really thinking about this. Because I don't want to be too charitable to these games, because they're just really goofy, not that great parody games. But for parody games, they're great. And as far as parody games go, we have Twing's Pops 2 here, and Greg's Deadly Draft here. You know, we can give credit for parody games. And realistically, Flumpties is a fucking parody game. Absolutely, this is a fucking parody game. in a lot of ways, Spookies is a parody game. It's more of like paying homage to like other horror IPs, but in a lot of ways, Spookies is littered with parody. So like, it being a parody doesn't really have to hold it back that much. I'm gonna leave this one here. Bump these up just a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Alright, and that's where those are. And our last one, because I haven't played these two, this is getting a major update in the next month, and I will cover it then. This just got a major update that I haven't played, so I don't want to rank it. And we're going to remove Dead by Daylight from the tier list officially, because this is not an indie game anymore. It hasn't been for a while. Mimic Search is the last one. Insert FNAF joke here. Mimic Search is the same dev as Missing Hiker, and I do think it's a major step up from Missing Hiker because I think it does a much better at building tension. I think it does a really good job at building tension throughout. There's more incentive to explore the environment. There's more incentive to discuss the matter with characters. It has a more interesting premise in general. And I was really hoping to put this one in C, but the thing is, the payoff for the tension, it's not great. Like, the end of this game is you come in contact with the Mimic, not FNAF, and you shoot him and you kill him. And there's like, no, it's so underwhelming. It's so underwhelming. There's so little put into it. And it's such, it feels so anticlimactic. It's like, it's almost abrupt the way this game ends, which is so unfortunate. But it does a good job at building the tension. You know what? We might be able to leave in C. It does a really good job at building the tension of it. And it does a really good job at building the world surrounding this Mimic character. Yeah, fuck it. It's our bottom of C. This is our new bottom of C. And with that, my voice hurts. And we have the latest iteration of the indie horror games tier list. It's getting really hard to look at. You gotta zoom out on the webpage to see the whole thing. Wow. That's a lot of things. I've played a lot of indie horror games. Some might say too many, and I'm inclined to agree. But you know what? There's a reason I play the games that I play. There's so many games on here with less than a dozen reviews. There's so many games on here nobody's ever heard of. There's so many games on here that people looked at, assumed it was bad, and then never played it. The reason I invest myself so much more, the reason I invest myself so much into this community and this genre is genuinely because I care. Genuinely. Like, I love supporting indie devs because I know they're trying so hard. Some of them aren't, I guess. You could argue that. But I know they're trying their best and I really want to support them. I love supporting like underground musicians. That's another thing. Like one of my biggest hobby outside of doing what I do on YouTube is listening to and exploring music. And I love finding like underground musicians on like SoundCloud and stuff and reaching out to them as well. Like, you know, I've never played a AAA horror game to completion, and I'm sure I would still love it. But like, I love supporting these smaller creators because I know, because I've spoken to so many of them and I've been reached out to by so many of them, and so many of them have commented on these streams and videos, that like, I'm the only person, and I'm not even that popular, I'm not a big YouTuber by any means, but I'm the only person with any resemblance of a platform that is like giving them the time of day, and that makes me feel good, and I like doing that, and I want to do that for them. Like, I'm not very popular. I can't give these people much of a platform. I can't do much for these people. But I'm like the only person remotely popular in this community that gives a lot of these games the time of day. And they deserve it. I truly believe that. Even the ones that I think are mediocre, ultimately, they still had time put into them. And I respect them for that. And that's why I do what I do. Yeah. So this is how the tier list stands. Again, specific placements could change on a whim, could change on a dime. So don't take this as like 100% concrete, but this is where we're sitting right now. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I like it. I like this. I'm good with this. I'm satisfied. I'm content. Some major games. that you could expect to see in our next ranking. Again, updated versions of these. In Sound Mind and at Dead of Night. Some popular ones that I know I haven't had the time to get to yet, but are on my radar, are Outlast 2, Psychopomp, IB, Inscription, Maseo, Sallyface, Fran Bow, My Beautiful Paper Smile, The Baby in Yellow, Darkwood and Dusk, Buddy Simulator, World of Horror, Scrutinized, Boogeyman, Lunch Lady. These are all examples of games I know we need to have in the future, in the near future, that we need to get to in the near future. The biggest one not on here is Amori, because again, I just have not been able to get into Amori, and it's a very long game. But yeah, there are some big ones still not on here, despite how many we've played. And also, it just comes down to time, care as well, because, like, here's the thing, like, if I go into a game not really wanting to play it, but I push myself to play it, then I'm going to have a more negative perception of that game than I would have otherwise, and I don't want to let that happen. Like, I've pushed myself through streams that I didn't really want to do, and I realize now that was just a bad idea, because it just gave me, a bad perception of the game. And nowadays, if I have a stream planned for a game, and I don't really want to play that game, I will instead choose to cancel it. Even if people want to see me play it, realistically, you will not be seeing me play it when you should. So, yeah, there's just some games like Outlast 2. The reason I put it off for so long is because I just was not in the mood to sit down and play it at any point. And then eventually I was, but again, it keeps crashing, and I don't know why. So I got to figure that out. But that's just an example. Psychopomp is another. I'm sure I'd really like Psychopomp. And it's not even that long. I just haven't been in the mood to play it. Also, I don't have a strong opinion on Mark because I haven't played it, but, like, don't act like it's... I gotta start calling out my chat more for just acting like they know better than others. Amori is not an objectively bad game from a gameplay perspective. Everybody loves that game, and it's for a reason. It's an RPG game. Maybe you just don't like RPGs. I don't know. Because, like, I've played some of Amori, I just didn't finish it. And I only include games that I finished, with the exception of Fear and Hunger currently, because it's too hard. But I'll get around to it. Amori is a good game. It is a good game. It's just long, which is why I haven't finished it. So, yeah. Yeah, I gotta start scolding my chat more, because some of you guys, I can't stand. Yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it. That's where we're leaving it. I am very tired. My voice hurts. Normally when we do game streams, I get more chances to give my voice a break. I didn't have that opportunity. My voice hurts pretty bad. So, yeah. Be on the lookout for some more content in the near future. I hope you enjoyed this ranking. If you didn't, too bad. And if you disagree, too bad. Cheers to that. Yeah. That's going to be it out for this. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you to everyone that donated, and thank you to our channel members. You guys help me out more than you know. It means a lot to me how much you guys do for me, because it really helps me keep at what I'm doing. So yeah, thank you for all your support, and I will see you guys soon. I don't know when, but in the near future. See you later, and bye-bye.